Hi everyone, Aidan here with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Premium hanging style bike rack here on our 2022 Phoenix Cruiser Motorhome. Now it takes a lot to have a bike rack be certified to use on a motorhome. There's a lot more shock and vibrations back here than you would have on a normal car, so any old bike rack won't do. You have to have one that is tested and approved for motorhome use, and the CURT Premium is no different. We're going to have a 4-bike capacity here with a total weight capacity of 180 pounds. So just make sure you're under that limit when you're putting this on the back of your motorhome here. It is going to be hanging style, so we do want to avoid our carbon frame bikes just because that is a lot of pressure on that frame there. And if you have an alternative frame bike, be sure to pick up a bike adapter bar so it'll fit. But what's unique about the CURT Premium here is these two end cradles are very close together, so for our smaller frames like on a kid's bike, we don't need a bike adapter bar there because they should fit on these more narrow sets of cradles right out of the box, which is really nice to see. Now our main points of contact are going to be these two top straps right here, holding them down in the cradles, and this third strap on the seat post, keeping our back and forth movement to a minimum, that anti-sway cradle there. That's going to limit our bike-to-bike contact, making sure that things aren't banging around going down the road. I'm actually going to go ahead and get this bike removed right now so we can show you some of the other features of the rack itself. So all you got to do is just pull off those straps, and then we can lift the bike up and away. And I'll just set this to the side here, and we can get a closer look at that rack. It's really nice being able to get 4 bikes on the back of your motorhome here so that you and the whole family can get to your biking at your destination. And I always like to replace these straps just so they are out of the way. Now, one thing you might notice with your Phoenix Cruiser here is this back hatch. You can still access that with the bike rack, we just got to tilt it away. To do that, first we'll come down here. We've got a hand knob on the back that I can loosen up. We can then remove this pin and clip right here on this pivot point. There we go. And then we've got a final little pull pin up here that we can pull up, and it'll release this down to here. We want to make sure the bikes are unloaded for this so that they don't hit the ground. But now we can access this whole back area, and we aren't sacrificing any sort of functionality of our motorhome. Now, I know there are a lot of points of contact down here at this pivot point. It might seem like a lot, but that's exactly what I'm talking about for a bike rack that is motorhome approved. All of these different devices are going to be for safety, keeping the bike rack really still when it is experiencing those increased shocks and vibrations. So we'll just do everything in the reverse of how we took it apart. Nice and stable there, and it's going to limit that back-to-back movement on that pivot point. Now with it like this, let's get some measurements. We're going to start off with how far it adds to the back of your motorhome here. So at the end, it is going to be sticking out 38 inches. That is a bit of length added, but it's not too much. You can, when the bikes are off, actually take this arm and fold it down. We've got a pin and retaining clip right there that we can just remove, fold the arms down, and re-secure that pin and clip through the newly aligned holes. That will cut our length added down quite a bit. From that outermost point on the back to the end of the rack now, it's only 13 inches, so that's way more compact. It does come fairly close to the motorhome here. At this closest point up here, we've got 3.5 inches of space, and there's very little movement here, so I'm not worried about any sort of contact there. Ground clearance is another thing to consider, and we are sitting at 14 inches of clearance. There aren't any rise in the shank, but that's not a concern. It does sit pretty close, and I don't think you'll have clearance issues there. It'll fit in our 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube here, and comes with an anti-rattle bolt. I might consider picking up a locking anti-rattle bolt, and maybe also pairing that with a cable lock that you could run through this loop on the back. But overall though, it's going to be a great fit for your motorhome here. It's a great way to safely haul 4 bikes to your campsite with your family. Thanks for watching.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.